my dear friends, students and other Ayurvedic practitioners. Good afternoon to all of you. My topic of discussion is how to take an Ayurvedic product, the ancient history of India, to the modern science, what is now called as nutraceuticals. Now, until then, it was herbal medicine. But in 1940s, penicillin came in and changed the whole scenario, and the dawn of allopathic era happened. Then from 60s to 90s, it was the pharmaceutical era, or the small molecular pharmaceutical era. Products like ibuprofen, torbutamide, and a lot of small molecules came into the drug, called the pharmaceutical era. From 1990 onwards, it is the biotechnology era, Avasthi, wealthy, all those things. But today, from 2010, we will see a lot of genome-based drugs. That's the history. Now, how did nutraceuticals evolve? Since time immemorial, we know there was medical practice in every community, every society across the globe. They were called traditional medicines. Now, even in the 1950s, when the herbal medicine was practiced, snake oil was practiced. Now, what is a snake oil? It has nothing to do with the snake oil or oil. Say, somebody like me trying to sell you a cure for baldness. Now, that is snake oil business. Another example is the amount of fairness sold in this country. India would have been a white nation, but we are still brown. So the fairness doesn't work. So it's all comes under the category of snake oil. And 80s saw the abundance of evidence-based medicines in the US. The 1980s saw the emergence of evidence-based medicine and came to be finally called as complementary medicine. And by 2000, US accepted there is an integrative approach that we can take. The term nutraceutical has come as coined by Dr. Stephen D. Belici in 1989 to be nutrition and pharmaceutical. He tried to trademark it but couldn't succeed, but the term nutraceutical succeeded. One of the basic needs to take a product from Ayurveda to go anywhere is the need for standardization. It has not happened yet, but people are still seriously looking at it. But people like us who are in the nutraceutical business are in it full time for the standardization purpose. Standardization is nothing but a quality assurance program, so that the crude powders are essentially free of toxins. And the other advantages are consistency in dosage, predictability in therapeutic response. That is the question of idea. But reduction in toxic component is a major advantage. Whenever you deal with the crude powders, the prevalence of aflatoxins are very prevalent. We really today don't look at it, but aflatoxins are extremely toxic material. At about 20 parts per billion is the limit set by WHO. And many of the herbs that we use has this one. And the age of the plant material, for example, senna. We take an immature part, is 1% sennicide. We make it when it is golden yellow, it is 6%. When brown and black, there is not much left. And another example is Dilopora asthmatica or indica, where depending on the season, the alkaloid level will vary. Again, depending on the fruit part. See, in the case of capsaicin, in the December month, the fishermen, they have the highest level of capitalism. Now, there is arguments against standardization that you are now trying to isolate or you are trying to take a reductionist approach. But in this particular case, it turned out to be useful. A single constituent cannot heal. That may not be always the case. It could mask the use of inferior raw material. That may not be the case also. Australians always have a ratio concept, 4 to 1, 6 to 1, 8 to 1. Now, if you take Talabora indica in hot season and make a decoction, you will have a very high concentration. But if you make it in the autumn season, you will have much less concentration. Now, let me go to the case study of the first product that is marketed in the United States in the name of Ayurveda and as a standardized extract and as a dietary supplement. The product is Gugurupin. It was extensively studied. It has been extensively studied at CDRI Lanka, Cipla, which is the licensee from CDRI, Department of Veterans Affairs at Arizona, and the final study was done by us at University of Pennsylvania and Majeed Medical Center in the US. What is that we were able to show? It reduces lipoprotein A. Lipoprotein A is nothing but otherwise known as the deadly cholesterol. Gugulu has been shown to reduce cholesterol levels, but nobody knew up until that time that it can reduce the worst type of cholesterol called the lipoprotein A. It also reduces serum reactive protein, C-reactive protein, and malonaride. And so this is the first product ever standardized and marketed into the United States. Subsequently, we have well over 150 products marketed there. There was a book written in 2007 talks about the history of Ayurveda in India, which has very properly credited Sabitsa and Sami and Dr. Majeed for bringing Ayurveda to India and bringing back contract farming culture to India. Now, the dietary supplement regulation or the nutraceuticals are governed by DISHA regulation, Dietary Supplement Health Education Act. So you cannot make a claim on the label, but you can write a book about it, and you can distribute the book, which is what we did in this case. Curcumin C3 complex, it's a trademark. Basically, healthy, standardized based on curcuminoids. The first book was written in 1993, curcuminoids. The consumer version was also written in the same year. In 2015, we published results of our branded product in anti-cancer activities. Curcumin is useful in a variety of conditions. The emphasis has been laid to cancer by us, although it is an extremely good anti-inflammatory. Various types of cancer this has been studied, either directly, preventing, or as an adjuvant. Now, key thing about curcuminoids is it can act in 3 different ways. It can prevent the formation of tumor cells from normal cells. But if the tumor has already formed, it can control the tumor growth. And once the tumor is grown, it can also control the metastasis. So it's a multifaceted chemical, 3-component mixture from healthy but extremely effective in the pharmacological sense. Of course, as part of our effort, we provide the standards, the US pharmacopoeia also. first product to come from India, claiming a patent by our group. It has been hotly debated in India. Is a product on the bioavailability and increase in bioavailability. So you see, it is not what you eat, it is what you absorb. So you take nutrition, but do you know you are getting that absorbed? Biofilms make sure that it is absorbed. It has been part of our preservative formulations across the centuries. We have been able to show in our clinical studies at Majeed Medical Center that it increases single components and increases the bioavailability of such single components. Water soluble, were very difficult to dissolve material with a two-compartment model. A very recent study, 2011, the ones I showed you before 1995, it is 2011. They were able to show in the case of resveratrol, the area under the curve, that is the total bioavailability increased 223% and the C max was 1,544 times more. Of course, as usual, we publish a book on that one. Similarly, we have published books on ashwagandha and a number of products that we market. That has been publishing books has been our marketing tool. Foliage for coli. This again published as part of a book on obesity. This has not been used as a product in Ayurveda, but this has been around in the early 1970s. Pest pharmaceuticals. Can you guys still hear me okay? Can you guys hear me okay? Yes or no? Alright. Pest pharmaceuticals did a lot of research trying to locate a drug for glaucoma. They did not succeed. Come 1990, they gave up. 1998, Sabitha, my group company, obtained a patent on lean body mass. This is the basic concept. The lean body mass increases, the weight comes down, the body fat comes down. What is involved here is to study the toxicity, the preclinical toxicity, preclinical efficacy, clinical validation. All that is required to take it to the grass route in nutraceuticals. We have well over 11 products went through grass status. And you can see the studies were done here in India, in Japan and in the US. It's also tried one time for chronic myelogenous leukemia, someone need to follow up. We have also created a drug. When I say drug, it is not a herbal drug. It is not an Ayurvedic drug. It is an allopathic drug, which is postcoded. And it is approved as a drug for glaucoma. Now let us get back to Ayurveda again. One of Ayurveda's most important rasayana, amla. About 4 or 5 years back, we standardized this, not based on vitamin C, because vitamin C is not always available there. Some varieties do not contain vitamin C. It contains always beta-glucocalin, a hydrolyzable tannin. It has the highest DORA ever reported on a product. It's also an MMP1 inhibitor. We have published extensively on this one. There is another product of Vijay Sahar, and this is an ICMR patent we licensed. The water soluble fraction is found to be very useful in diabetes. It has not gone into the market yet by us, but it will. Interestingly enough, it contains C-glycoside. That is the rate in diabetes treatment these days. a group of compounds called SGLT2 inhibitors. Nothing but same glycosides. But Vijayasar always had that. One of the practice in North India is they create tumblers using terracotta wood, Vijayasar wood, and put water in it and drink it in the morning. We have it standardized at 2.5% terracotta, and several other glycosides are isolated in our lab. And this is a study done by ICMR, which we licensed. And they were able to show initially and after 12 weeks, the post and the fasting and postprandial blood levels are reduced by the use of this water-soluble Vijayasar. Most really, very interesting material of Indian origin. But we were the first ones to prepare the boswellic acid standards and submit it for USP evaluation. It has been studied extensively across the globe for various conditions: rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, chronic arthritis, chronic colitis, ulcerative colitis, etc., etc., etc. The interesting part is the first two patents were held by a Durban professor. The work was done at RRR Jammu. I used this argument in favor of me because I also patent. We have well over 110 patents. But it is all Indian patents, patented by an Indian company. So at the end, money comes to India. We have to submit a recent clinical study for Korean approval for getting this approved as a dietary supplement. There is a detailed data on the clinical documentation on that one. We have, from the same raw material, boswellic, we have created a drug for psoriasis. This is the initial and final. This also is approved as a drug and cleared for marketing, and we will be introducing the product soon. One of the most successful products that I ever worked on is not from Ayurveda but from our culinary practice called the Padapudi, Siprit. It has an appetite suppressant action, very much needed for the American market, and we have it patented in different forms. This is the one that earned me the National Award for R&D for spices from the late Dr. Sangataya Sharma. Of course, as part of the education, we write a book on that also. I always say, whatever you need to do for the future has always been experimented and established in Ayurveda. So look into your past to see your future. Don't worry about the biotechnology drugs because we cannot afford it. Don't worry about the genomic drugs. The country cannot afford it. But look into Ayurveda, you will see your future and future medicine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful presentation. Now, we would like to invite Dr. V.C. Uday Kumar, Executive Committee Member, CCIM, and former President of Ayurvedic Medical Association of India, to present a memento as a token of our sincere gratitude to Dr. Majeed.